Welcome everyone to this podcast on animals and pets. In past lives, we would have had different animals and pets in our different lives. We could have been on a farm and had our attachment to the animals on the farm, or we could have just simply had pets like we do today. Pets, animals, all have souls. They don't just die and not be there anymore. I see them come in with people. I see the dog lying on their bed who has passed, or their cat, and I can sense where the dog and the cat, or the bird, the animal, is still with the person in this life, even though they have died. You might sense your pets around. I often see my golden retriever lying outside in the sun, lying on the floor. Sometimes he's on my bed. I don't see him as see him, but I know his energy is there. When I've gone for walks, he's been with me, and it's interesting because I'll often see another golden retriever walk by to remind me from him that he's with me. These animals come in life to life, and your awareness of it will actually help you to bond even more with the pets that you have chosen this life. One of my sons has just bought a Rhodesian Ridgeback, a puppy. The picture I saw there was in the 19th century. He was a hunter. He had his safari outfit on and his big hat, and two big dogs who looked very similar to the same breed. I believe one of the dogs was the current dog, and that she's come in again to spend her life with him. Often we will get these animals in a very bizarre or weird way. We weren't expecting to have a dog, and by the time we got home from that visit or wherever we were, we had this dog, and then the dog remained with us until we passed or the dog passed. The dogs who have passed and cats will actually be around your house. They will still be walking around, they'll be with you, you'll sense them in the house. So that validates that they have souls too, and they have their little spiritual body, and they pass on. It's interesting because often an animal who's similar to them will appear to remind us. So, for example, I will see the golden retriever, and then I'll be nudged for him to remind me that, yes, he's coming for a walk as well. These past life connections with the animals are very important because they've been with us and we've been with them. And there's a lot of comfort and reassurance in those types of relationships. You will find your bond with them will be particularly strong. And if you're in a family unit, you'll usually find there's one person who bonds with the animal more than the others. And it could be unexpected. Perhaps your husband isn't crazy about cats, but you have a cat, and then this cat and he just attaches to him. I've also seen particularly cats in Egyptian lives with people, that they had these Egyptian lives and these cats were with them, and now they are particularly more cat people than dog people. And I've also seen dogs with people where they were out hunting with the dogs, like as I said previously, but also in other lives where they were trekking with these animals. The bond that you have with your pet is, on a human level, a normal level, strong, but when you add this extra bond, it does make it even stronger. When they die, the gap is much, much bigger. The only good thing I think from it is that you will sense them around the house and know they're actually always with you. When you pass over, you will be with those animals as well. They will be around you. When I've done readings, I've seen the animals waiting for people. If you're a person who is taking care of animals, for example, you've been in a rescue job, dog rescue, or I've got friends in fauna rescue, so they rescue the kangaroos and the possums and the echidnas. Those animals too come to you, and then when you pass, they will be there. So some of my friends in fauna rescue have got a huge group of animals waiting to say hello when they pass. The bond we have with them is telepathic. We have that with people, obviously, but this bond is purely telepathic. They will pick up on your moods, you will pick up on their moods. If you want to talk to your pets, you can do that by just talking telepathically to them, and you will get a sense of whether they like that dog food or want to go for a walk, or they need to come inside or outside. You can actually pick up if they're well as in this telepathic way. In past lives, we had these animals often as working animals. Sometimes we had them as pets, but often they were on the farms working with us. So when we have them this life, they might not be working as much, but we still have the bond. If you're an animal person, that comes usually from your past lives as well. You might have worked with animals, had a lot of animals around you, really love nature, and you will bring that in from your past lives. Today we're talking more about the past life animals who've come from before and now in your life, to give you that understanding that this actually happens. I bought the golden retriever for my youngest son because I was told by a psychic friend that he needed this dog, and within one day we went for a drive to look at the dog and came home with the dog in the car with no pet food, beds, nothing. That dog was always for him, and there was a particular bond between them. If he laid on the floor to do exercise, that's my son, the dog would always come and Moses would come lie right next to him and lie on the floor too, and they would look at through each other's eyes. They had been together, definitely, and when the psychic told me there was the dog waiting for him, she said it was a white dog, it was a big dog. That dog was interesting because that dog was with us, and my son left to go to Germany. The dog knew he was leaving, so he moved out, then he left later. Within 2 weeks of him actually leaving our home, the house where my son was living, the dog passed. It was sad, but what it meant to me was that the dog had come in to be with him, and once he wasn't here, then the purpose of the dog being for him, the karmic purpose, the past life purpose, was finished, and the dog didn't have to be here anymore. It was sad to lose the dog. Obviously, we were all quite devastated when he died because he was a really beautiful, loving golden retriever. However, there was a plan even within that. When that dog now is around here, I will pick him up because I was close to him too, but his purpose was done. You will find too that certain animals have been together or not, and you can tell that by their compatibility. Some animals have been together past life and then they're drawn back into the same grouping. Other animals have not been together, and there will be always discord. They never get on, they're always fighting, just like the kids. And that is often a past life that's happened where they either knew each other or didn't know each other this life, and it's made for difficulties. Enjoy the fact that your pets, particularly, I think I'm probably talking to people who've more got pets than cows and horses. Horses are very powerful animals spiritually, and if you do have a horse, you will definitely have had a past life with that horse, I would say. The bond that people have with their horses is very different to with a dog or a cat, and I think that the horse is usually would have been utilised in the pet and also as a working animal, so there would have been a dual there. And so when you have that kind of relationship, there's two sorts of relationships. Sometimes the horses come from particular lives, like North American Indian life, or I've seen those little donkeys, like they're not really donkeys I suppose, I've seen those little horses that are in Tibet, and when I've seen these people with Tibetan lives going up and down the mountains with these little horses, I know that those horses were past life, and then they can come back in and be a horse, but maybe be a horse which is more the ones that we're used to seeing. Never negate what past lives do or how powerful they are in our present life. We're actually living our past lives in this life. And once you start to see that everywhere around, you'll be able to hook in more easily to your past life and get more information and have more knowledge about who you were and where you came from and where you lived. Enjoy yourself this week, and I'm sending you lots of love and light, and do enjoy if you have pets, because they've probably been with you before.